Hello everyone, welcome to the NSOJ News House. This is Nishita. Let's begin with the show. This story is about a man who faced challenges while growing up. But yes, he overcame all these challenges and in 2016, he, along with Miss Priyanka Shailendra, a social entrepreneur, launched the Indian Wheelchair Tennis Tour. Now over to our reporter Adeline Bhavna Minch to know more about the story.
It is a bright and sunny day in Bengaluru, and I am at D Cube Sports Club on the finale of Tebubuya Open 5. Wheelchair tennis not only makes us curious but also excites us about the sport. The players' difficulties and hard work are unimaginable. Let's hear it from Pratima Rao, India's rank 1 wheelchair tennis player, how she prepares before a match.
I love music. I'm listening to music. That's it. And the small workout I will do that. That's it. Warm up. Wheelchair tennis. It's totally different actually. Because no one knows in wheelchair. We can play in wheelchair also. But it's Sunil sir is taking a good step actually. Now we have initially we have only one yearly one match, one tournament we are facing, but nowadays this year maybe 8 or 9 tournament is that.
We reached out to Sunil Jain, the founder of Indian Tennis Wheelchair Tour. Let's get some more insight and know about government's role in this sport.
Government, so far we have not received any direct support in terms of financing, no. All India Tennis Association also no. They are in fact little not proactive, I would say. I don't think they have any vision, futuristic vision. I think it is still for them like an obligation, or they have to do it sort of a thing they are doing. So support wise, no concrete real support as of. A good question. No, there is no change in the rules, but for only one. The receiver can return the ball in the second bounce. Apart from that, there is absolutely no change. Even the net height, the width of the court, length of the court, all are same. And if you look at our tagline, same game, same passion. So there's absolutely no difference. The disability criteria is your disability should be in the lower limbs, right? Which doesn't allow you to walk like any other person, which causes you hindrance to play regular tennis like this. You can play by sitting on a wheelchair. That's the only technical criteria. Apart from there is no criteria. This chair, we call this an active chair or domestic chair. If you look at this wheels, they are in a 90 degree, right? If you look at sports wheelchair, they come like this, camber. We call it as a camber. That to provide the stability when their players are moving around, it doesn't fall. And also it creates a very synchronized hand-shoulder movement. So that's the only specialty.
For National School of Journalism, this is Adeline Bhavna Minch.
Thank you, Adeline. Hope all of you are aware about the most anticipated election in Tamil Nadu, which is getting spiced up day by day. There are many debatable topics to discuss regarding this. Now over to our reporter Ram Rakshit.
The 16th General Assembly elections are going to be held in Tamil Nadu in April, with fierce competition between the two major Dravidian parties. If the ruling AIDMK with BJP's alliance is hoping to stamp its authority this time as well, DMK on the other hand, with Congress support, is trying its best to topple the ruling government with interesting manifestos and welfare measures. Mr. Kamal Hassan, through his party and promises, wishes to occupy the top chair and hopes to continue the legacy of M.G. Ramchandran. Let's also not forget some efforts being made by the independent parties to somewhat change the dimensions of politics in the southern state. What has caught the eye is Mr. Ashok Kumar distributing free masks to people while wearing a PPE kit. The interesting thing to note will be the COVID factor. Will this have an impact on the minds of the voters? Are people ready to bring in a new change? Let us wait till May 2nd for the results.
Thank you, Ram. I remember the quote by Alexandra Paul that the cars we drive say a lot about us. Well, here we have Mr. Ravi Prakash, who has been collecting vintage cars since 1980. Until now, he has this humongous collection of 250 vintage cars. Now over to our reporter Harun for further more information.
The Union Road Transport Ministry is considering rolling out the vehicle scrappage policy, which says that life of a commercial vehicle must be curbed to 15 years and private vehicles to 20 years. Let us introduce you to Dr. Ravi Prakash, who is a collector of vintage cars. His passion for all things vintage, cars, bikes, cycles, carriages, has resulted in an incredible collection. Dr. Ravi Prakash began buying and restoring vintage cars since the 1980s. Since then, he never stopped. If you are an admirer of vintage cars, then he's the guy for you. Now let us take you to an insight of what all he has to offer.
India had a huge heritage of fabulous vehicles, during the Maharaja times and during the Industrial Revolution, 100 years back. There were so many beautiful vehicles that came. Most of them were axed. They were all scrapped down. Some of them were smuggled out of India. I feel that now the scrappage policy, in a way, it is good because a lot of commercial vehicles, a lot of government vehicles which are not maintained properly and which have run, the limited mileage. Usually a vehicle can run anything between 2 lakhs to 10 lakhs depending on how they maintain. So those kind of vehicles, I feel it should be also scrapped. But it does not really apply for the historic vehicles. Today, even if you drive around, in the city of Bangalore or any other city, you drive, even in Calcutta, if you drive around, which is the city of ambassadors, how many ambassadors do you see? You rarely see them. That means already 99.99% of the vehicle has already been scrapped. The 0.001% of the vehicle which are on the road are only on the road because of an emotional connect.
Thank you, Arun. As the Kerala election is going to be held on 6th April, let's look at the Sabarimala case, which may have an impact. Over to the legal correspondent Pratim.
With the state of Kerala set to go into polls in April, the status of the Sabarimala judgment review petitions before the Supreme Court has assumed importance again. Upper class politics and matriarchal structure of the state society have always played a role on the way to earlier General Assembly elections in Kerala. The 2018 Sabarimala judgment had lifted the restrictions on women of menstruating age from entering the Sabarimala temple in Kerala. Multiple review petitions were then filed on various grounds, including that there were apparent errors in the 2018 judgment. While deciding a review petition on 14th November 2019, a Supreme Court bench kept the petitions pending for decision subject to a review by a larger bench of the court. The court did not, however, issue a stay on the 2018 judgment, which means that the judgment is still in force. A contention that propped up was whether a court could hold back its review for one by a larger bench. While the Sabarimala case still remains to be reviewed by a larger bench, the question of the implementation of the judgment by the government remains in loom even as the state approaches polls. That's all from my side. Back to Nishchita. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratim. Spending the busy weekdays and thinking how to spend your weekends? Well, here's a plan. Visit the most appetizing food street in Vivepuram, Bengaluru. Let's know more about this from our reporter Adeline.
What if I told you I'm at Foodies Paradise at the heart of Namma Bengaluru? I'm at Vivepuram Food Street. From fire pan, fried ice cream to dosas, it has every bit of taste along the lane of Vivepuram Food Street. What do you like the most in this place?
The best part is that there is variety of food here, okay, different kind of variety, and you get like that authentic taste here, like the authentic Bangalorean taste. For example, if you have this masala dosa, you'll get like proper masala dosa with that proper flavor and all. And pav bhaji also, it will have this authentic taste of Bangalore. So that's the best thing. That's why we come here.
We have second wave of corona and the food is like pretty open, they're not covered. So are you scared of that?
I know you're coming there actually. But simple as that, like if you see the people also, it depends on them how they keep their distance. So we'll still keep our distance, like with other people and all. So we keep a little safe distance, and also like most of the places, they are being very hygienic now. In Bangalore, if you see, everybody will sanitize their hands and all. So as of now, everything is going good. Fortunately, nothing of that sort happened. But yeah, we are definitely maintaining safe distance, and you can see our masks also.
Must visit place for all the foodies. Come with your families and friends, chit chat while you munch on your favorite cuisine in Vivipura.
Thank you, Adeline. Lastly, we'll move to the entertainment segment. We have the reporter Virginia for the movie review.
Chaos Walking is a screenplay adaptation from the book, which is The Knife of Never Letting Go by an American-British novelist, Patrick Ness. Fasten your seatbelts for an adventurous movie review. A tragic existence where there is torment, enduring, unfairness, yet it's a spot implied uniquely for men to live. This world has a dim mystery. A world without women. The men of this world have a force or revile on them, which is noise. So the significance of noise in this film has been depicted in a totally extraordinary manner, because of which it becomes even more essential to watch this film. From the directors of Born Identity and Edge of Tomorrow. Forget everything you know. It's an extremely intriguing, scientific thriller, adventurous film to watch. The idea that has been utilized by the director of this film is an unexplored concept which has been utilized in an exceptionally point-by-point and mind-boggling way. The film gives you an energizing, quick-moving, exciting experience. There are a ton of oh my god minutes also in this film. This film keeps the crowd required all through. One doesn't have the opportunity or to try to check on their phones. It's so captivating. The visuals and realistic work is another central feature that makes the film interesting to watch. The utilization of cameras is another admirable key feature. If you are a fan of such scientific adventurous movies, this movie is a must-watch. So, what are you waiting for? Book your tickets for Let the Chaos Do the Walking.
Thank you, Virginia. Hope you had quick insights on various important issues. We'll be back soon with some more news. Till then, stay tuned.